there were some deer, and my aunt lived pretty close to it, so they would drop me off there, and I'd walk over and hunt all day, stay gone till dark, and come back and pick me up.
Yeah.
And there's a big white oak thicket, flat, over there, just level and flat, and white oaks everywhere. Well, there was always deer tracking, you know, and back in those days, seeing deer tracks was a big deal. You could tell some of those old guys hanging around the store you'd seen a deer track, and sometimes you'd leave in the middle of the day and go show them,
Yeah.
because it was a big deal. But I was going to be a bow hunter. I'd watch Fred Bear, and man, he was a bow hunter, and that's what I wanted to do. So kept on, no tree stands at that time period at all. And I had a little brush blind made sitting on a 5-gallon bucket. And like I said, I shot good in the backyard, you know, and I found out later that everybody does. You know? So I'm sitting on my bucket, and I can still see that big doe. I mean, she looked like she had elk-sized legs, you know, just monstrous, and crunching them white oaks on my blind. And she came toward me and veered off, and I had her nearly broadside. And had one of those little Bear spring iron quivers. I shot at her and missed. The first time I shot at her, she never did jump. She didn't even look around, and I missed her so bad. Got another arrow off, and she'd never been shot at, and I never shot a deer. We were a pretty good pair. I missed again. And I made her jump. But I shot every arrow I had and never did run her off. She was still eating acorns after I was out of arrows. And I remember holding that bow in my hand and thinking, you know, and I was a kid thinking, they built this thing for a reason. Somebody knows how to shoot it. It's obvious that I don't under pressure. I'm going to find out who does.
Yeah.
So that led on to, there was a sporting goods store at Decatur, and it used to be across from a fabric store, and you know, it was a 20-mile drive to Decatur. So we went once a week, you know how country folks do. And as soon as they dropped me out, I'm over at Fort Wiley looking at stuff, you know, and those guys over there, they really were nice to me. And I'd asked them about, you know, somebody that knew something about shooting a bow. Nah, we just don't know anybody who shoots a bow. And that rocked on for several months. And finally I went in there one day, and he had a phone number from a guy that he had got for me. And it was a field archery club in Birmingham called Vulcan Archers. It was started in 1923 by Howard Hill.
Yep.
So I finally, getting driver's license was a big point. Now, instead of being somewhere else, I could sneak off and go to Birmingham, you know. And we did that some, and finally those guys kind of felt sorry for me, you know, and started showing me stuff. Well, I got better really fast. Now I had a method to shoot well, you know. But I've always had that, I want to know the details, the technical side of everything. How do I get better? If I'm this good, well, there's bound to be some knowledge where I can be this good, right, and I can climb and climb. So I kept saving my money and stuff, and wound up in Arizona with Al Henderson 4 days. That was the world changer right there. I learned concepts. Instead of put your hand here, I learned concepts and ideas. And you know, it's kind of grew from there. Been coached, practiced hard, worked on the details. But it's all because I never wanted to miss another deer.
Yeah.
I never wanted to miss another deer.